Hi, and welcome back to Movie Time with Krista Marie, the channel that dives deep into the magic curated behind the scenes of your favorite productions. Today I am here with an up-and-coming Natalie Richard that made her directorial debut with Etonot that premieres next Friday, April 7th. How are you doing?
Good. Excited to be here.
Great. Well, we're excited to have you. Before we get started, I'd like to break the ice a bit with a fun question. So I must ask, where did the title Etonot come from?
Well, it's a French word that holds a similar meaning to that of the English word uncanny, which, if you're unfamiliar, means strange or mysterious in an unsettling way. To be completely honest, we chose to go with this translation rather than uncanny itself because we thought it sounded more interesting and matches the vibe, if you will, we were trying to create.
Excellent. And yes, I agree, that is a very fitting name. So before we get into the bulk of our time here together, this episode is sponsored by Matt's Method of Meatloaf. Matt is a local business that specializes in teaching customers how to make their own meatloaf. For the low price of $120.99, you can purchase a 3-pack of lessons with Matt himself. There is also an online website you can access if you are uninterested in the lessons and would rather just purchase the meatloaf at mattsmethodtomeatloaf.com. I can assure you that Matt's Meatloaf is like no other and is truly a transcending experience into fine dining. I had the pleasure of indulging in the trio of lessons, and it is something I won't ever be able to forget. Alright, welcome back once again. We are here with Natalie Richard, who is making her directorial debut with her new film, Etonot.
Yes.
So Natalie, with this being your first major motion picture, I was hoping you could tell us about how your production skills developed throughout this project.
Of course, so there was much learning that had to be done before I really got the hang of exactly what I was doing.
Right?
Yeah, so first of all, with the pre-production process, it was very timely to figure out what story we were trying to tell and how to tell it in a flattering way. Luckily, once we had the backbone constructed, it was only a matter of time before the filler parts flowed right out of us.
So there wasn't any kind of struggle with creating the story?
No, not at all. I would actually consider that the easiest part. The real trial and tribulations began when we started filming. The camera we were working with had a lens that was quite zoomed in, and our budget did not provide for replacing that lens, so we had to make it work. The setting of our movie is primarily inside of our main character's home, and so many of the scenes did not require a wide frame, and so we were plagued with having to figure out the correct angles to provide a sufficient shot. There was lots of shooting, watching the clip back, adjusting, and then reshooting, but eventually we were able to meet our goals and conclude the production segment.
So what kind of skills did you learn?
Well, framing a camera and focusing it were a major part of our process, so skills associated with that situation were developed.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and other more abstract skills were communicating ideas and taking criticism or suggestions and reworking them with the purpose of creating the best outcome possible. Additionally, paying attention to small details and nitpicking through the production process are other skills I obtained throughout the process.
Wow, so it sounds like not only was the production successful in a literal sense, but also in a conceptual.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. A huge thank you to Natalie for spending time with us here, and don't forget to follow our podcast on Spotify and Instagram. Turn on post notifications if you would like to be notified when a new episode drops. My name is Krista Marie, the host of Movie Time, signing off.